stands of the sports arena, waiting for the show to begin. Hey there, this is TJR for Music Worth Buying. Last Tuesday, we saw the re-release and remasterings of Paul McCartney's Venus and Mars and Wings at the Speed of Sound. And these albums were both, I mentioned Paul McCartney, but these albums were both released when the band was officially called Wings. I thought I would comment a little bit on both albums on the remastering audio and also the second disc of bonus tracks, since they both come out in 2 CD deluxe editions. Now, first of all, the first bit of good news I want to state is I feel the remastering of the audio of the original album is a sonic improvement over the previous pressings of it. I did a back-to-back comparison on the CDs, and I felt that the new remastered audio has a lot more life to it. They've managed to bring out a lot more of the life. They've managed to bring out more of the details. They haven't over-compressed it in any way. They've stayed true to the original mix, but they've just found a way to just make it shine a little bit more, let you hear a little bit more detail, and just bring it to life just a little bit more. It's an improvement, and it's an enjoyable one, unlike the way I felt about the recent Led Zeppelin remasters that have come out. I think part of the problem is the Led Zeppelin it's been too soon since the last remastering job to really hear that much of a sonic improvement, whereas these albums have not seen any remastering of the original audio in quite a while. Technology has improved enough that you're going to hear a noticeable difference. Now, packaging-wise, they both come in 2 CD deluxe editions. I'm holding up the package of Venus and Mars here. Here's the front and here's the back. And this opens up, and I've got a few little papers coming out here. I'm going to pull those aside for a second here. But it opens 3 ways. You can see both CDs. The original album CD features the original art of the label that you would have seen on the vinyl record back in the 70s when it came out. This is the bonus disc. It comes with a booklet, which features just photos, lyrics, and credits. It contains no essays or historical information, which was my complaint with the last remastering of Wings at the Speed of Sound. While it was definitely improved audio experience, there was no real text or anything else discussing the time period or anything. It would have been nice to have had that. It would have been nice to have had it here. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But if that doesn't keep me from saying you shouldn't get it, though. Any photos that were in the original are here. Any artwork that was in the original is here as well, including some new stuff as well. If you purchase this at the Best Buy stores in the US, you got a special coupon offer for a 7-inch vinyl collectible, which is free. And so that's a cool thing. Getting on to the bonus tracks, I have different opinions about each one. Now, Venus and Mars features some bonus tracks that you've heard before. They were released on previous CD releases of Venus and Mars. They've been included here. To some people, this is bad. It's like, well, we've already got this. Why not give us something new? To me, I prefer it because now I can get rid of my old copy because they've included these tracks here as well. I don't have to keep a second copy, an earlier copy, just to have those couple extra bonus tracks. So they're all here. And then there's some new stuff you've never heard before. There's quite a number of instrumentals. I think these were just sort of early rough draft for songs without lyrics. Paul McCartney didn't write too many instrumentals. I'm sure he intended lyrics for these songs, but was just, putting down ideas in the studio and has included them here. There's a lot of B-sides, songs. What I feel is missing in this is there aren't a whole lot of what I would call early working versions of the songs that are on this album. In fact, the only one there is it says here, Rock Show old version. And obviously this is just an earlier working version of the song. It doesn't have the Venus and Mars intro. It just goes right into Rock Show. It's fun to hear. It's interesting to hear. It's enjoyable on its own. It's different from the one you're used to hearing. But I wish there had been kind of more of this. There is also a single edit version of Letting Go. This would have been the single release, the 45 release for radio. That's included as well. But otherwise, everything else is different on this. It's a completely different batch of songs. Now, on the other hand, Wings at the Speed of Sound, which I don't like as much as I do Venus and Mars. I like Venus and Mars a whole lot more as an album. But on the other hand, Wings at the Speed of Sound features a whole bunch of alternate versions, earlier working versions or demos of songs that are on the album. And I really enjoyed hearing these. Some of these are just Paul at the piano. He's at some old, slightly detuned piano, just banging out the chords and the lyrics to, let him in. There's also, interestingly enough, an early working version of Beware My Love, which has John Bonham of Led Zeppelin on drums. And when you listen to this version, you might first think, well, I can see why he didn't include this. But what this track is, at least what I think it was him there with Bonham in the room playing drums and the rest of the band, and they're just laying down the scratch track instrumentation and trying to get a final track of drums with John Bonham. And a lot of times when I've gone into the studio, the first thing I do is get that drum track down, and because that's the foundation you're going to build everything on. So you mic up the drums, you isolate them, you get that set for a real clear, pristine recording, and then you stand off in another room. The drummer hears you on headphones, and you're playing guitar, you've got the bass player there, and you're just banging out the song. You're not worried about how you sound so much as how the drums sound. You're just something for the drummer to follow, to lay down that foundation. And throughout that recording, Paul's kind of like, okay, let's go here now. And he doesn't know all the words. He probably doesn't have them written yet. He's just going blah, 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 da-da-da-da-da. And so it's that part of it's real rough. So this is just, sounds to me like an early session, just laying down a drum track, trying to get a drum foundation down for that. And so personally, I found that really cool to hear. It's maybe not something you're going to listen to for so much for enjoyment as, oh, that's quite interesting. But I really did enjoy hearing a lot of the alternate versions, earlier working versions, demo versions of the songs that were actually on Wings at the Speed of Sound. I wish there had been more of that for Venus and Mars. Maybe it just doesn't exist. Who knows? But there are a lot of really enjoyable songs on this bonus disc. There's some that are kind of throwaway, I'll be honest. And I'm sure Paul McCartney would probably say that too. Yeah, these were just rough ideas, never really quite completed during the same time as these sessions. He's letting you behind the curtain to listen to a little bit what was going on when they were recording it, so you can hear some of the various ideas that he was toying with at the time that he was recording this. And of course, then there's also B-sides as well of completed tracks. And so there you go. Overall, I think if you, depending on which albums, maybe you like both of these, maybe you only like one or the other, but if you're a fan of either of those albums, these are well worth getting. Good job with the audio, good job with all the packaging, good job with the bonus tracks. Right now, these are probably going anywhere from roughly around $14.99. Once again, I still feel like when you do these re-releases, you shouldn't charge any more than you do for a single CD, because basically you're asking all your fans to buy it again. I think these should be more in line with about $10, $10.99, $11.99, somewhere in that price range. But it's not that. But this was just so well done. I thought the packaging was so well done that it's definitely worth getting. And so it just depends on which albums you personally like better. There you have it. There you go. And so now those are my thoughts on these Paul McCartney remasters that came out this week, Venus and Mars and Wings at the Speed of Sound. Hope you found the information I presented here helpful. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.